Hello. I haven't made a video in so long. Well, that's not true. I've been uploading shorts and all kinds of things, but I haven't posted like a long form video in a while, except maybe some concerts and some things I can't remember. So I just got over a cold for 2 weeks, so I'm finally almost 100%. I wish I had a better setup, but anyway, I'm just testing this out instead of recording myself or speaking for like an hour and then posting later. So, where do I begin? The last long form video I made, like around that time, I was kind of making autistic videos, disability Q&A type of things. And for a while I was like not working very much and I was posting videos of me and my fur babies a lot. So forgive me, I didn't really want to get very ready today. But last time, like one of the last videos I made, I was talking about how I was just starting a new job. I was kind of in the middle of deciding between two jobs, and I don't want to give what it was away exactly, but I ended up with this company for a year and it was like quite exciting. I mean, it was a government type position and it was really fun because well, going into it, you don't just get full time automatically. So I was just on call. And while I was on call, the only thing that kind of was like flexible enough for this job was food delivery. So at the time, I was also doing skip the dishes. And so the fun thing about it, it was like they would send me to different islands. So I was living and working on Vancouver Island, which is absolutely beautiful. And then at times they would send me for like a week to different islands like Pender, um, Galliano, and it was just really fun because I kind of like how it was a variety of no, absolutely not. And I'm Canadian. I'm going to try not to really look at the comments because I just want to speak from beginning to end about it and my experience and try not to get too distracted by the comments, even if there's like comments that aren't so nice. But yeah, free Palestine. Anyway, so so yeah, I got to go to these beautiful islands and oh my gosh, before I speak about what I'm like really wanting to get to, there was a time where I didn't have the best day. I had to leave so early in the morning to do this job and it was like, kind of tiring work. It was a mix of physical activity and rest, like perfect for my disability because I have fibromyalgia. So if I'm too active, I'm in agony the next day. And if I'm sitting at a desk all day, then I'm also in agony. So, so this job was perfect because it was the right balance. And one day I just didn't really have the best day. It was like I just was exhausted. Oh, I missed the last ferry. That's why it was like a little bit challenging. So, so I was kind of having a little pity party to myself and and then I was like, "Oh well, you're going to see whales when you get on the ferry." I just kind of tricked my mind to like feel better about my circumstance. And what do you know? It was like absolutely unbelievable. Within under a minute, there were two giant killer whales. What are they actually called? Orcas in the Bay Area. And they just came out together like their two dorsal fins were in the air and they're just huge. I just have really funny luck like that. Like I have so many stories I could tell you in my life of like just really odd coincidences. So anyway, so yeah, that was the kind of job it was. It was like an adventurous job, and I was with them for a year, but like I said earlier, it was on call. And the thing about on call is, well, I mean, it's pretty challenging for a lot of us because, I mean, the wages aren't consistent, your sleep schedule's not consistent. And so, in order to get full time at this job, the quickest way for me was to move. Thank you. Within the community. Or, well, my choice. It could have been Canada wide, but I wanted to stay in the province of BC because it's just absolutely beautiful. So, the quickest way to get full time was to apply in more like rural areas. And I started doing that like after about 10 months with the company. And so right away, I was getting opportunities. I had like three presented to me right away, which I was so excited about. And one of them was going to be like this remote little island, and rent was going to be extremely cheap, but the wage was also going to be really cheap. And another one was a bit more further out away from Victoria. And the number one option I liked was like around the Whistler area, I'll just say, Whistler, BC, which is absolutely beautiful. It's like a worldwide tourist destination for skiing, snowboarding, and uh and a little backstory is I live in a travel trailer, so um going out there was like a huge risk because it gets extremely cold, and I was living on an island, Victoria, for like around there for a long time. And sorry, I'm autistic, so it's hard for me to like I should be looking at the camera, but anyway. Um, where was I? And I have ADHD. I know everyone says, "Oh, everyone has it nowadays," but truly I was diagnosed, and the way that I speak and communicate now is nothing like when I was a child. When I was a child, it was like I was completely locked in my head and I could barely get words out, and there's no way I'd be able to do videos like I'm doing now, speaking anyways. So, back to what I was saying. What was I was taking a huge gamble, but I got a full-time position, and I live in a trailer, like a 35-foot travel trailer that you pull with a vehicle. I've been doing that for the last almost 4 years. And so there was just like some well, for starters, they didn't have trailer parks out there that were year round. So I found someone's property to live on, and it was absolutely beautiful. It was like 20 acres of just wildlife, trees. There was even a mountain in the back, and it was absolutely perfect. Everything just worked out like perfectly because the job that I was doing was en route to where I was living. And so it just all seemed like way too coincidental and perfect. And out there, it was just like completely quiet with farm life. And, but there were bears and cougars and whatever, wolves, everything. So it was a little scary at times. Because I was living on someone's property completely isolated. No, like there were neighbors somewhat nearby, but no amenities. Like, but they were about, I think, 20 minutes. It was about 20 minutes to town, and there was a grocery store and everything like that. But so while I was out there and I started this new job, there were just like some things that weren't kind of going as well as I had hoped. But one night, I'm kind of like losing my trail of thought because Because normally I could, edit this, but now I'm like, "Hey, where did I start and where am I going with this?" But, so my dog's looking at me. Zena, hi. Say hi on the cameras. Come here. See? Okay, so where was I? Okay, I'll tell you a really scary, like, get ready for the scariest story. So, um, I'm living out there and it's on a property where someone owns it and there's a business and then there's a few other people living there. And one night everyone's out like with their boyfriends, drinking at the local bar or something. And and it's completely quiet, like you can hear a pin drop basically. And their dog is like barking nonstop and it's like starting to really freak me out. I'm like, okay, there must be a wild animal nearby or something. And so after about like an hour of this, and surprisingly my dogs weren't really barking. And but I started to just get a really bad feeling. So I turned off all the lights inside and I had my outdoor light out and I'm looking out the window and it's like so quiet and it's not snowing, the wind's not blowing. It's like just so serene and quiet and it's like in the middle of nowhere essentially. But then all of a sudden somebody like literally said, "Can you see me?" as I'm looking out into the pitch black. Like, it was horrifying. I said, "I'm gonna call the police." Like, I didn't have a weapon or anything to protect myself. It's just me and my dogs. So, thank God nothing happened, but, it was just like it was kinda like these things had occurred that made the job seem like maybe it wasn't gonna be a great idea. And, so another thing too is it was just the beginning of winter, and my dog's here. It was just the beginning of winter, and I was going through $30 of propane every like 1 to 2 days because my trailer's not really made for winter. So I never really knew what to anticipate until I got there. And it's just kind of, it was like horrible because it was going to be like 500, 600 a month in propane, and I was still freezing every day. So I thought, okay, this really isn't going to work out. Like, it really sucked. Um, Another thing I could have done is like not tell my employers that I was planning to move. Like, I could have protected myself by moving and still staying with the company, but I wanted to be honest and I told them that I was planning to move, so I quit officially. So I'm just like way too honest. So then for a few months, because I moved back to Vancouver, well, I was in Victoria and then I moved to Vancouver for the second time in my life. And a couple months into that, I ended up getting back with the company. But it was like just an awful situation. Like, if you're disabled like me, you just know how it is, like the way you get treated in certain environments. And I guess I just wasn't loving the job as much as I had before. And I kind of had just gone through this traumatic experience about like moving to the wild and the job not exactly working out, and then somebody potentially stalking me on the property that I was living. So it was just like, okay, like, I guess I was a bit shook up, and this new job wasn't like as great as I had hoped. Is So anyway, after all that, for the last little while, I've just been like doing grocery delivery for customers essentially. And I actually really enjoy it because like I've had so many different jobs in my life. I was a dental assistant right out of high school And I was so young at the time, like, I really liked the job itself, but one thing I hated about it was you would have to wear a mask all day. So, I didn't know that I would like, I'm not exactly claustrophobic, but I grew up in a household with a lot of chain smoking, and it was dirty and moldy and all these things. So, wearing a mask all day felt like suffocating. So, after dental assisting, I did like serving, I did restaurants for a while. I also did like telemarketing. I also raised money for a children's charity. And I also went to school again for massage therapy at one point. But during that time is when I started to get diagnosed with, well, tested for my symptoms. And the only reason they ruled out MS is because I do have brain lesions, but they didn't progress in a certain time frame, thankfully. So MS is still a possibility, but thankfully the last time I was tested there wasn't like a progression in the brain lesions. So anyway, um what was I saying? Oh, yeah, just about different jobs. So since I'm autistic with ADHD and cptsd, and then I also have fibromyalgia, like I have mental, emotional, and physical disabilities that make certain careers like just impossible. I'm just at this point in my life where I'm really tired of masking. So what I've been doing for the past 2 years with that other job that I quit is, originally it was like food delivery, just like fast food delivery, but now so many grocery stores have got on board, and I've been doing like grocery shopping for people, which I really like because people just seem a lot more appreciative when it's all their groceries, and you can make better money, and you don't spend as many um kilometers on your vehicle when you're going just to the grocery store. My dog. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, hello. My phone's not working. Orientation is locked. How? Rotate. Okay. I don't know what happened. Here's my dog. Okay, anyway. So, just the customers are a lot more appreciative, and you get kind of better money and income that way when you're grocery shopping for people rather than just doing like food delivery, because sometimes people are really generous with just food delivery, but most of the time the big money or the big tips come with like grocery shopping for people. And here's like a literal scenario of what it can be like if you're working just for one of those food delivery apps. And if you're like, when I used to do skip the dishes, it was pretty good because the minimum was always like $7. And this was a couple of years ago. And now these apps are so greedy towards their drivers, it's unbelievable. Like sometimes the minimum is, sometimes an offer comes in and it's literally $3 or $4. Like, here's a real scenario of what that $4 could get you. Say you start your shift at noon, then you don't get your first order until 12:10, let's say. Then you go inside the business and it's really busy in there, so you wait 10 minutes. And then you finally get your food and you have to travel 10 minutes to the customer because, say, traffic's busy, whatever. Oh, my cat's distracting me now. So then you drop it off. Oh, and now you're in the middle of nowhere and you have to go 10 minutes back to the restaurants. Otherwise, you're not going to get new orders. So, like, you could literally work an hour and then your next order comes in and it's 10 minutes after that. So, essentially, it's like you could work a whole hour and make $4. Isn't that freaking crazy? Okay, those disgusting comments get a life. I'm not even going to read that anymore. Is there a way to block you? Let's see. Remove. Loser. Some people are sick. Anyway, um, some people like spend their lives on the freaking internet just to put other people down. Like, how sick is that? Like, I don't know. I feel bad for you because you probably don't have a good home life or something. Because who does that? Like, there's so many things you could be doing with your life, and you're gonna come and put people down. Anyway, um, yeah. Thanks for giving me some view time. I'm not even gonna block you. You can just enjoy. So anyway, yeah, so that's kind of been my journey for the last 2 years with employment, and I'm sure there's so much I've left out, but it's just kind of like usually when I make my videos, they're a bit more structured. Like I kind of write down ahead of time some key points that I want to make or certain topics, but this time I just completely went off the top of my head. And so I'm sure I left out like so many details, but I kind of wanted to try this for the first time just to like do it live and maybe connect with new people. And I know I'm not like the most engaging person because I'm like I just did this on a whim. I didn't really get ready and the lighting's not perfect and the camera fell and whatever. But yeah, that was just so at least at the end of the day and my experience and employment and everything I mentioned, I ended up at like finding a job that kind of works well with my disabilities because as I was saying about grocery shopping for people, so it's a good balance for me having fibromyalgia because it's it's active but it's not too active where I'm like in excruciating pain the next day, and then it's driving, so you're kind of like getting a break. But so my next plan of action in my life, because I've just kind of been on this journey of like self-discovery, at least in the last like 10 years, because I was undiagnosed with autism and ADHD, and I also didn't get any help for cptsd growing up in like a really toxic environment. So the first like 25 years of my life, I was like in denial about everything because I was gaslit so much to believe that everything was normal and some people have it worse and this and that. Like that kept me from getting help for so long because I was like, it could be worse. It could be worse. I could be a starving child in Africa. Like, how horrible is that to compare your suffering to someone else's suffering? That doesn't help you or validate you and what you're going through. And it doesn't feel good to like think about these poor innocent people in the world suffering. Um, so at first it was like finally getting validated for my childhood and learning disabilities and everything. And then next comes like a lot of sadness and anger, and it kind of comes back in rotation. Like you kind of heal for a little bit, and then something is triggering or event, and then you kind of revert back. And Ninj, she's I'm good. How are you? My cat is distracting. Hello. Uh, but oh, so hello everyone. Oh, so I remember where I was going with this. um The next thing on my to-do list, so I've dealt with what's this? I'm lost. I have no clue. But anyway, um I'm surprised my phone still has battery through all of this. But okay, so career-wise, we're kind of getting to a good place. Living situation could be better, but it's working for now. Yes, it was good try. I'm just awkward. I don't have a good comeback for you today, but I appreciate it. So, okay, so yeah, I talked about disabilities, work, living, all these things. And now last is like health wise. So as you know, I'm a bigger person as you can see, and I'm not shaming anybody out there in the world, but it is something I still want to improve because I'm getting older. With age comes more and more possibilities of health problems. Like I already have pain disorder that's not related to my weight because at the time when my symptoms started, I was like actually very active and a lot thinner. But the weight certainly doesn't help. So that is something I want to take care of. And the thing with that, I wish people would understand is like, it's like an addiction, like anything. I know that sounds so ridiculous, but I don't smoke, I don't drink daily. I've maybe had like less than 10 days that I've drank alcohol in the past 2 years because it's just not something that I need. And um I've been pretty isolated and like a hermit, so I'm not even drinking socially. I used to go out all the time. I used to overdo it when I was younger. I have a lot of hilarious stories and some not so hilarious stories where I could have like potentially not been here today with you know, when you overdo it and you get yourself put in these horrible situations. But so no smoking, no drinking, no drugs. I haven't even drank caffeine in this last year. Oh, well, actually just recently I've been having a few things, but I'm trying to just conquer all these addictions, right? So caffeine, no drugs, no alcohol, no, but everyone needs an outlet. So like, because I have a pain disorder, it's hard for me to like go to the gym because I already have a job that's like somewhat active, which I'm very thankful for. So the thing that I have to take care of next is diet because I used to be just a lot more disciplined. And then I got to this point where I was just so tired of hating myself. I just tried to do a balance. Like I obviously eat veggies. I was like a vegetarian for 15 years actually. And I kind of just got to this point where I hated restricting because like I don't know about you guys. I don't think this is a topic you're not supposed to talk about on YouTube, but like ED, a lot of us have struggled with that in our life. Like even when you're bigger, you don't know like what someone else is going through. So um when you get too restrictive, it kind of can get to this point where it's like that ED sets in where you feel so much guilt and shame. Gym, yoga, swimming, yeah. Oh, I know, believe me, I know the answer. I know what works for me. It's just about like implementing it. Like not making excuses. And like I said, it's kind of like the I'm not sure what that says, but it's kind of just like back to the addiction side of things. Like I because I'm not doing these other things and I don't have like necessarily the best outlet, like I am getting better and I'm not at my heaviest anymore. I used to be like actually 25 pounds heavier than this at my max weight. But having my dogs helps because it keeps me active, walking, and my job helps. But now I need to get to this diet issue, which it's actually so much more complicated than you can even imagine. Because no, I'm in Canada. Hello, you. Yeah, not America. Thank fucking God. Oops, pardon my language. I really feel for the people of America and what they're going through, um and what their administration is doing to the world. It's absolutely horrible. But I don't want to get on a tangent on that right now because I'm being a little selfish and talking about myself for once. But yeah, I've been very like I don't even watch series. I don't do a lot of things. Like I'm very connected online politically, like with what's going on. So it's kind of been all consuming because I just can't stand what's going on. And like it's just I don't even have the words. Yeah. It's especially with what's going on in Palestine and Ukraine and Cuba and well like uh, isolating them to starvation and it's like we're just so blessed in Canada. Like people do not understand. Like there's these people acting like things are so tough. Of course the food prices are rising. Like they can't stay the same 30 years later. When I was young, like they have gotten out of control since 2020 during the pandemic because greedy companies have like purposely done this to I don't know. The housing crisis I completely agree with. Like people unless you're living like in rural areas or certain cities, like it's absolutely outrageous to get a house. But if I had been smarter with my money at a young age, I would have been a homeowner by now. So a lot of us do need to take accountability. You know what I mean? Um, some of us were irresponsible when we were younger with our money, and now we're living to for the consequences of that today. But I'm just petting my dog. What was I talking about? Back to diet. Okay, so first thing, mm, I'm a lot older than 25. Thank you. What a compliment. Ah. But what else are we talking? I'm in BC, like Vancouver area. How about you guys? Oh God, I hope not. I do not agree with that whatsoever. Like Canadians, as I was saying like a few minutes ago, you guys have no idea like how good we have it here. And these people are creating this divide to like make us think that, like our government's terrible. And like our government is not directly in control of the price of rent and groceries. And those are the two biggest issues. Like it's greedy corporations buying the homes that are sitting empty. It's greedy companies that are raising the prices, raising gas. Like our government is like our healthcare could be better, but you know what? Like even that, people want to use that as an excuse or a reason. When I was young, we were still waiting in the waiting room sometimes like hours and hours and hours. So even in waiting rooms like at an ER, like things have kind of been the same, but we're just getting more and more whiny as fuck. Oops, am I allowed to swear on my channel? But people are just getting like unbelievably spoiled, entitled, and like have a look around the world and see what's really going on, and then maybe you'll be more appreciative of what you have. Like Oh, so another thing. So the government is not responsible for the cost of groceries and rent. And also, the wages are not increasing. So all of these problems are corporations, greedy corporations. But you know, ignorant conservatives are like always making it a political issue. Has that political issue in the states that everyone, like things have only gotten worse there. Like the prices have not gone down in the states, and now they're ripping away all these benefits to protect vulnerable people. So if anything, things are getting worse there. And I don't know why anyone on earth would be protecting billionaires or defending billionaires. I'm not even going to look at the comments about the Alberta lover or separatist. Um Nothing in the states has improved. So I don't know why on earth any Canadian would want us to join with America and not have health benefits. And they want to take away women's rights, and they want like us to basically be suffering and on our knees begging when we're already getting to that point because things are so expensive. Like me myself, I have my essentially my house payment, car payment, two insurances, phone, internet. It's like a lot for one person. And they want us to like become so. I'm just getting burnt out because I've been talking for 40 minutes straight. But they just want us to get like so desperate where we feel like we have no choice but to like get into these relationships because like now at a time like never before, we've never in history had so many women like be independent or like I don't necessarily think it's a good thing for people to be like alone, but we're not forced to be into these relationships where if something goes wrong in the relationship and you have the kids and you're not working and your spouse just wants to leave you, then like the wife's left to suffer like or it's just yeah, I don't know. Like I think that's why they're kind of like taking away women's rights and then increasing the cost of everything. It's kind of like to try to put us back into this traditional role where we have no choice but to be with someone or roommates or family or whatever, where we're like so dependent. So, anyway, that has nothing to do with what I was talking about, but because you mentioned separating, now I'm like on this complete other topic, but back to diet. So, oh yeah, changing a tire. No one's pushing MAID on anybody. MAID is something that you have. Like, I'm a disabled person. MAID has never come to me and said, "Have you thought about just, offing yourself? Like, you have autism, ADHD, CPTSD, fibromyalgia. Have you thought about just, ending your life?" No. MAID is something that I mean, I'm sure there's evil, sick, twisted people in healthcare who have suggested this to people who are in like a really vulnerable way, but MAID as a whole is not coming and oh my god. They're not. They're there to help people suffering who feel like they have no other option and sadly, you know, it's kind of just a hard topic to talk about without like making yourself look so just like disconnected from reality because it's like I understand things are getting more difficult, like with the rent, like I said, food prices, everything. wages not increasing, but like those are a corporate problem, not government. And and also we have to take responsibility for ourselves. Like if we've been irresponsible with money our whole life, where the hell did these fruit flies come with from? I'm looking around and I think I had a mango in my sink for a few days. Anyway, if you keep me seeing me swat at things, um, um, it is really sad. Like, I hope, I don't know what the future has in store. Like, I can only hope things improve somehow, but how is it going to improve? Like, unless the government, I guess, makes all these like really low income, like apartments and things. But anyway, diet. I keep forgetting. I kind of don't want to go on with this video because I don't want to like I do and I don't. Like I don't want to talk about oh my god. Mm, what does my name mean? Like my username? My username is you're a whiz heart, like you're a whiz Harry. Like it was a kind of like Harry Potter, but before, JK Rowling became like a anti-trans horrible person, Lord Voldemort herself. Um, I'm probably gonna change it soon if I can. No, sorry, I'm not interested in dating right now. Um, I know you're joking, but anyway. Okay, so diet. Like I said before, so not drinking, not smoking, not doing drugs, not even having caffeine anymore. My addiction is sugar. It's terrible. It's not like my shelves are like my cupboards are not full of candy and my fridge like actually has fruit and veggies in it. Like I'm not just consuming sugar day and night. If I was, I'd probably be diabetic. Thankfully, I'm not. Not every big person is extremely unhealthy in a sense. Like I'm not on medication other than my fibromyalgia, like I said, came on when I was more healthy. Um hasn't gone away. But actually, I used to be a vegetarian for 15 years, from like age 15 to 30. And ever since going back to eating meat, my pain has actually gotten better. And I also am 25 pounds less than where I used to be. So I'm not saying that's right for everybody, but I'm just saying for me, like, you're supposed to be getting like a certain iron you can't get from fruit and veggies. And I was probably lacking that for like 15 years of my life. So for all I know, the pain that I was living with was like had something to do with that. Or I still have fibromyalgia, but when you like start that during development for 15 years, like who knows what the long-term health consequences of that are, because my diet was never like great. Like you could still be like, yes, I was thinner and active at work and whatever. I was like, I have you could go and see maybe my page. I showed pictures of myself before. I was always like the big girl, but I was like muscular, like I was fit and I had jobs that kept me active and I was biking and walking everywhere. But my diet was not great because it wasn't balanced. Like I was still over consuming carbohydrates because I was never like a bean person or seed person. So when you're not getting proper protein, you're consuming more carbohydrates. And as it turns out, so The thing I keep forgetting to talk about is I have a lot of food sensitivities. So, I finally saw around the time I was like getting help for my mental health. I also went and saw a naturopath doctor, and I have like literally 50 food sensitivities where they're in the elevated range. You have like things that are fine for you, like kind of a medium range, and then elevated. So I think like a lot of problems for most people is probably due to food sensitivities, but people don't go get this test because it costs money. And when you see a naturopath doctor and you just want the food sensitivities test, they usually suggest all these other things. So then it kind of becomes like really expensive. I need some water. My mouth is like so dry. Anyway, all the people left. Ah. Oh my god, disgusting. These fruit flies. Anyway, um, um, um. So with food sensitivities, I'm not supposed to have soy, rice, certain grains, peas, mushrooms, um, almonds, so many things that it kind of makes it really challenging to be a vegetarian again. Like I wish I could go back to that lifestyle. And then it also makes it extremely challenging just to like find the will to like create new things for yourself or cook or even eat out or go anywhere with people or friends or family. You just feel like a burden when you have all these things that like lead to inflammation and brain fog and um skin issues, and it's kind of endless. Like people don't realize what the inflammation can do to you, like. And So, there was a time, like for about a week or two, I became really strict and I did stick to like eliminating my food sensitivities. And then like my skin improved and I felt like more alert. And even my eyes like looked wider and brighter. And I don't know if I was like losing much weight. It was like kind of at a nice pace, not too rapid. But I'm I ignored some of these comments. Anyway, the other thing too is I used to really love to cook like for others, and when you're just cooking for yourself all the time, it's not the same. It's like kind of depressing. So one of my huge problems is I just eat out way too much. Like even when you choose healthier options, it's still way more expensive than like if you're cooking, obviously. Like even when I go get a pre-made salad at Superstore, it's like 5, 6, $7, and then oh, they have an amazing chickpea salad that I love, but, it all, like, really adds up, and, like, where I'm living right now, it just is, like, really complicated, like, it's just I'll show you guys one day, but the kitchen just makes me not want to cook anymore. Like, I used to love doing that, and now it's like in the last 4 years of living in here, like, I've cooked for myself less than ever in my entire life. So, it's like I've spent way more money in the last 4 years not cooking for myself, and yeah, it's just, maybe, I've been putting off doing this video for so long, and I just talked about a million topics, but, I'm definitely going to go back to the structured version and not the live version after this because, it's just a little too all over the place. It's not engaging, I'm not used to this. And like I said, I have a hard time like looking into the camera like, well, for one, when I'm looking in the camera, I'm looking at myself and it seems like so self-absorbed to do that. And if I'm looking like directly into the camera. But yeah, I've been putting this off for a long time and I kind of just wanted to offer an update because some fun things that have happened since the last videos I made. I just like changed my hair a million times. I had half purple, half pink, then I had half dark blue, half light blue, and then I had half black, half platinum blonde, and then I had half black, half red, and then I tried gray over really light pink when the red faded, but it didn't work at all. So then I bleached again and now I did like a nice bright green and now it's kind of faded to like a neon yellow. So I've officially had every single color and I'm kind of like at this point where I think I'm just gonna dye it all black. But it's just so fun having two colors. I don't really want to give it up just yet, but my hair is like completely fried. I don't know. I guess I could give it a good chop and keep doing colors, but as I've talked about all these different things, like I kind of want to get back to being natural where I don't dye my hair anymore. And the biggest thing is, so I was talking about diet and not even just sugar and additives or whatever, but artificial colors. Like I bought these because I wanted to I just, whenever there's something new, I like really want to try it. So I got this Mountain Dew Supernova, and I'm not gonna say just like, I'm not gonna read the ingredients, but like artificial colors, I think are one of the things that are most detrimental to our health. There's been studies on it, and so going forward after today, I'm gonna try my hardest not just to like work on diet, but especially eliminating all those artificial colors and everything. So to end off my video, I have fibrom due to get lidocaine IV lookup treatments and don't bitch about it. Oh yeah, so just look things up, go take some drugs, and don't bitch about it. That's not a good solution in life. Like I've done, I've gone through life living with, severe childhood trauma, um, autism, ADHD, fibromyalgia, and there's been times where drugs were pushed on me the entire time, and I took a few things just a few times, and I felt like sick to my stomach and never took it again. So to me, drugs are not the answer. Like I want to get to the root of the problem. That's what I've been doing my whole life. And so I think like I'm finally getting to a really good place with all of it. Like I haven't been extremely depressed since like, well, I had a little moment in 2020, like I'm sure most of us, but I haven't been like extremely depressed since probably like 2017. So, yeah, I'm not saying that's the answer for everybody, but I try to do things naturally. I'm such like a, what's the word? Walking contradiction because I have these strong beliefs about so many things, but then I like do the complete opposite in some ways. Well, the number one way is just diet essentially. Like I need to lead by example because I have these strong beliefs about diet especially, but I don't do it, so I'm just trying to practice what I preach. And the hardest part about that is I just need to like stick to it because like I said, it's like the addiction factor. And when it becomes too restrictive, it kind of goes too far and then it becomes like an ED, which I've had in my life. So I really just need to work on that. Hello again. Something about me, hobbies and interests. Do you have a specific question about me, hobbies and interests? Well, um, my special interests as an autistic person growing up before I was like formally diagnosed is collections. I used to like save everything, like movie tickets, pins, buttons, pennies, anything kind of like an interest would become Himanch. I would say India. Is that right? I live in BC. There's a lot of I recognize your name. I believe it's Indian. So, anyways, back to hobbies, interests. So, yeah, everything. Thank you. Anyway, everything like before I knew, I guess it was almost becoming like a hoarder a little bit because I everything would just become an excess. Like if I bought candles, I'd buy like 10 candles. And then I makeup, like I became obsessed with a certain makeup brand and then suddenly I had thousands of dollars of makeup. And the thing about it was so nice that like it was an outlet during the pandemic, so I was doing all these like really like intricate makeup jobs that would take like hours to do because it would take like an hour or more to do like a certain makeup look, and then I would do my hair and then I would dress up and then I would take pictures and it was a lot of fun. But so that's kind of like what my life was like for a long time is like excess, like clothing and just anything. It was like so greedy and selfish and stupid, like things that I would never wear. Like it was fun to finally take it out of the closet and put it on and take like a picture and have like a photo shoot. But so then when finally moving from a regular house to a trailer, I could only take so many things. So finally all of that's like a thing of the past. Like I don't have anything in excess. I just have what I need and that's it. So I can proudly say for like the last 4 years of my life, I haven't been. But other hobbies and interests, oh, concerts. I love concerts. I've been to like hundreds in my life. I've even traveled for bands that I really love. I work with people with autism. What's DSW again? Disability support worker, I guess. Yeah. That's cool. Awesome. Like obviously I'm like a level 1 essentially. Like there was a time in my life I was definitely like a solid 2 as a child. And I like I flew under the radar because of my age. Like at the time the information just wasn't there. Like I actually didn't even know what autism was truly about until I was like in my late 20s. Like how crazy is that? Like I had just never really heard people talk much about it when I was a child. All I know is that I don't know if it's something my parents kept from me to try to protect me in some way, or if they just didn't know, or because my parents had so many problems themselves. I'm pretty sure that's the reason. I just wasn't going to get the support I needed because I had parents who had a lot of issues going on themselves. And but when I was young, I only remember like one specific family where the child was probably like 5 or 6 and still nonverbal. And the mom was like in tears saying, he's never going to be able to tell me he loves me. But you know what? I guarantee at this point in life that kid is probably able to speak now because it really depends like where they are on the spectrum, but I'm sure as you have heard, but a lot of us like completely not outgrow, but those, like we're kind of if we're slow to like develop in the beginning, usually like just like one example is like Love on the Spectrum. That show like taught me so much. I know a lot of people have a lot of negative things to say about it, but for me, like I that was the first time in my life where I'm like, "Oh my god, I did not know autistic people were like that. I didn't know they were working and living kind of somewhat regular lives." And um I thought autism, my only knowledge of it was like probably the level threes where they're like high support needs and maybe nonverbal and etc. And I'm not saying that in like any sort of way to like put down. Um, I'm not like trying to be ableist or anything like that. That was just like my knowledge of autism. So when I saw that show, it like was completely eye opening. I know that sounds so ridiculous, but it's like I always knew something was wrong because, well, wrong. I'm just saying, like, because I was made to feel like I was inferior my whole life. Like, um, just the way I communicate, the way my mannerisms, everything like that. So, that show like finally made me feel like validated and made me realize who I truly am, and like I was able to connect with so many of their stories and all of their stories in some way, even the ones that are a little bit more less independent, like more reliant on their families. So but that show honestly changed my life. Like how crazy is that? Cuz like the thing is doctors would doctors were trying to help give me the diagnosis when I was younger, but I had no idea what autism was. That like they would say, "Oh, what are your special interests?" And I would say I would just say nothing because I didn't know. I had such low self-esteem that to me special interests meant like it meant like having a gift or something. It meant like, "Oh, you're really good at this or that." And I just felt like I had such low self-worth that I didn't know what they were talking about, but it's like, oh, if I had told them about my collections or my intense passions, um, then yeah, like I could have maybe got help sooner, but I kind of just like how everything kind of fell into place the way it did. Yes, I have. This is my oh, it's all cricket. This is my like Pinterest tattoo that I kind of regret. I want to get it covered. My first tattoo is this funny cat from an artist in my hometown that I grew up in. And I have a couple others, but I don't want to talk about tattoos. Good night. I'm going to bed soon too. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. So, yeah, I'm pretty much gonna end my live here now, I believe. It's been kind of fun. Like, I mean, it was definitely a wild ride and all over the place. But it was a nice release because I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but when I want to make these videos, I usually want to like do my hair, do my makeup, and look nice. And then I want to write down kind of the topics I want to talk about. And then I want to like have it a little more structured. And then I want to edit it usually. So I want to like write down specifically what I'm talking about so I'm more engaging and then edit it. But like I said before. But anyway, um
Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. And I'll definitely be making more soon because, like, why would I? It's so silly that I just kind of like let my channel go the way I did. Like, I worked so hard. I had some interesting videos. No, I didn't get a lot of engagement, but I had over 1,000 views. I just got over 1,000 views on one of my autism videos. And I was really proud of that, and then, I just got so busy with work, having an on-call job and then having to do a second job to make it work, that I just completely abandoned the channel. I guess a part of me thought, "Well, I kinda got this government job, I don't really know if I want them discovering my autism YouTube channel where people can discriminate against me," but it turns out that I just ended up telling them I have autism and I was discriminated against anyway. So, story of my life. People are still just not with it about autism. They have such a misconception. And can I really blame them? Because it took me a really long time to realize what it was all about. So I guess we just need to have some grace and give that to others so that they can get on board with where we are with it. But okay, thank you so much. I gotta end this somehow. How do I even? Um, no.
Oh, okay, good night. Like I said, I appreciate it, and I'll do better next time with being more structured. Not like writing out what I'm going to say word for word, but just like writing out what I intend to talk about and more interesting stuff. But I appreciate all the comments and I appreciate all the compliments. Okay, good night.